Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. I am super excited, y'all. We have an upcoming week, a fresh week in the market, let's say that. But y'all, in this video, we are looking at inside day candles for tomorrow, June the 24th, or inside week candles for the whole week, the 24th through the 28th. So before we get started, let me go ahead and give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So the first one on the list today is Apple. Apple is an inside week candle. So if Apple decides to break above $11, Apple, I rephrased that, AAL. AAL is the first one on the list. Apple is, but Apple is not first. Let me correct that. So AAL, American Airlines, if it breaks above $11.52, then $11.69 is our target to the upside. To the downside, if it breaks below $11.09, then $11.10 is the target. If it breaks below $11.10, then 1109 will be the target to the downside, and that's for AAL, American Airlines, not Apple. Correction. So American Airlines normally just moves about 29 cents per day. So again, it is an inside week candle. If you trade AAL, I would definitely say watch those levels. So Apple is an inside week candle, and Apple normally moves $5.47 per day. If Apple should break above $219.06, then the target to the upside is $200.12. Now to the downside, if it breaks under 207.05, then the target to the downside is here at 192.07. That is interesting for Apple. So I would say I would definitely watch that. Again, it moves $5.47. Looking at it on this daily chart, we are under the 5 EMA, so that it is possible, right? But we know that the 20 EMA is here at 202.16, and we have this ATR trailing stop at 197.86. So we could very well come back and retest this 192.07. Again, it is a weekly inside week candle instead of an inside day candle, or a weekly target. So Affirm, AFRM, is an inside day candle. That means for the day, if it breaks above $30.41, then $30.81 is our target. If it breaks under $29.41, then the target to the downside is $29.30. And Affirm normally moves about $2.14 per day. It too is under the 5 EMA, and it looks like it's creating a gathering spot for us, so we can move in either direction, right? Trade carefully. And AMD would not be y'all, sometimes when I look at those charts, it's like, okay, AMD, SPY, and Tesla are one of the ones I do every day, so their charts are a little bit congested, right? So Beyond Meat is an inside day candle. If it breaks above $6.72, then the target to the upside is $6.77. Below $6.40 gives us a target of $6.28, and it is slightly. Let's see, we closed at 651, and this 5 EMA is at 659. So I would definitely watch Beyond. It normally moves about 44 cents per day, and yeah, if this is something that you trade, I would say trade carefully. It looks like it was trying to break out of a gathering spot. Just know that we are going to have trouble here at the $7 range if it should break to the upside. Citi, or C, is an inside week candle. This is a weekly target. If it breaks above $61.65, then $61.67 is the target to the downside. If it breaks under $58.83, then we have a downside target of $58.64. It too is under the 5 EMA, and it normally moves $1.38 per day. So CCL, Carnival Cruise Line, is an inside day candle. This is a daily inside day. If it breaks above $16.10, then $16.15 is the target. If it breaks under 1576, then the target to the downside is 1571, and CCL normally moves 63 cents per day. It is finding support here on this 20 EMA, and just know that this 5 EMA is definitely going to be an area of, right now it's our support, so it's right there between support and resistance. So y'all, I would say if I traded CCL, be very careful, trade carefully. Carvana is an inside day candle to the upside. If it breaks above 113.08, then the target to the upside is 113.43. To the downside, if it breaks under 107.74, then the target to the downside is 106.31. And Carvana normally moves about $6.44 per day. It did have a downside gap, and I don't think it completely closed that gap to the downside from, it was created on 5-1. So I would say Carvana right now is trading in a gathering spot. It's trading in this zone. So it could move in either direction. Just know it moves $6.44 per day in either direction, up or down. So DAL, Delta Airlines, is an inside week candle. If it breaks above $49.98, then $51.21 is the target. To the downside, if it breaks under $48.41, then $47.21 is the target. And DAL normally moves about $1.35 per day. And right now, it looks like that 5 and 50 is about to cross to the, looks like to the downside. So I would say watch carefully. If I traded DAL, I would watch that 49.56 area, because that is the 5 EMA, and it's really close to that 50 EMA, which is around the 49.55 area. So yeah, I would definitely watch DAL if that's something that you trade. Just know that it is a weekly candle. Disney is also a weekly candle. If Disney breaks above 102.74, then 103 is the target to the upside. Now, to the downside, if it breaks under $100.17, we have a downside target of $99.31. And Disney normally moves about $1.62 per day. It is above the 200 EMA, is the support as of right now on this daily chart. So if I traded Disney, I always say y'all trade carefully. Devon Energy, DVN, is an inside week candle. If it breaks above 46.55, then the target to the upside is 47.87. If it breaks under 45.12, then the target to the downside is 44.80. So Devon normally moves 96 cents per day, and again, it looks like it's breaking out of a gathering spot. So we could very well come back up and retest this $4.70 for Devon at $47. Did I say $4.70? $47, considering we closed at $45.82. I would always say y'all trade carefully. So Ford is an inside day and an inside week, which is very interesting, right? So Ford, if it moves above $11.91 to the upside, the target is $11.07. Now to the downside, if we break under $11.76, which is tomorrow, then the target to the downside is $11.67. So Ford normally moves 27 cents per day. Now, considering this is a weekly target, if it breaks above this $11.97, then the weekly target is $12.52. If it breaks under $11.65, then the target to the downside is $11.54. And again, it is an inside day and an inside week. So I would say if you trade Ford, trade carefully. I would definitely mark those levels. Again, not financial advice, right? So FTNT is an inside day candle. If it breaks above $58.65, then the target to the upside is $58.76. If it breaks under $57.77, then $57.18 is our target to the downside. It normally moves $1.35 per day. So GM is our next inside week candle. It is a weekly target. Above $48.06 gives us a target of $49.42. Below $46.70 gives us a downside target of $45.60. And GM normally moves $1.07. And it looks like the 5 EMAs are support at $47.57. So I would definitely watch GM if this is something that you trade. I always say y'all trade carefully. Make sure that you have confirmation as to why you're entering your trade. And when it goes against your why, get out. Intel, INTC, is an inside week candle. If it breaks above 31.62, then 31.62 is the target. That's interesting. If it breaks under $30.10, then $30.14 is the target. And that's a weekly target. Yes, weekly target. And it moves normally 73 cents per day. But I wanted to point out that Intel has been trading in this zone here ever since, let's say, we'll say around 5-1. So I'm going to, as you can see, I have an alert set above $32.02 and below $29.73 because it's been trading in this zone. So at some point it's going to break out of this area and reverse. Either, it could continue down or we can go back to the upside. So looking at it on this daily chart, if you trade Intel, I would definitely say it's setting up for some type of move at some point, and we don't know when. We just set our alerts, and again, we trade what we see. KMI, Kinder Morgan, is an inside week candle. If it breaks above $19.96, then the target to the upside is $20.09, right? So to the downside, if it breaks under $19.55, then the weekly target is $19.55. So that's something to watch and be careful with, right? It normally moves only just 25 cents per day. So I would say just trade carefully. Just know that it is an inside week candle. So let's see. Kroger, KR, is an inside day candle. That means it's a daily target. If it breaks above 51.05, then 53.33 is the target. To the downside, under 49.92 gives us a target of 49.72. And again, Kroger normally moves $1 per day. That is the ATR. And we are under the 5 EMA. We are, under the 5. We went past that, got rejected, and it seems like the 200 EMA here is our support for Kroger. I would definitely say trade carefully. Well, right now, we're between support and resistance, so it can go in either direction, right? Macy's is an inside day and an inside week. So Macy's could be setting up for a some type of move also, because if you look at it on this daily chart here, it's moving, it's been trading in this gathering spot. So right now the inside day targets, if it breaks above $18.47, then $18.48 is the target. If it breaks under $18.19, then the target to the downside is here at $18.18, which is not really a big move. It only moves 55 cents per day. However, the weekly, if it breaks above this $18.48, then the weekly target is $19.41. Now to the downside, if it breaks under $18.16, then the weekly target is here at $18.18 is the weekly. If it breaks below that, then $18.16 is the target. So I would definitely watch Macy's if it's something that you trade. I always say trade carefully. We are right here at the ATR trail and stop. We could definitely bounce from this area and very well come back up to this 1941 area. Just know that we've been at this area for a while. So Macy's should be interesting. I'm going to set an alert above this, around the 1858 area, just to let me know, that Macy's is above some areas of resistance. So Macy's again normally moves 55 cents per day. It has been trading in this gathering spot, and we've been right here at this ATR trail and stop. So the move could be soon, let's say that. And again, nothing is guaranteed in the market. I always say y'all wait on confirmation and trade what you see. So Marvell, MRVL, is an inside week. If it breaks above $75.42, then $75.69 is the target. To the downside, under $70.72 gives us a weekly target of $66.92, and it too is trading in this gathering spot, so it could move in either direction, right? It wouldn't surprise me to see Marvell come back beyond this 50 EMA below the 70.69. We could very well get to the 66.92. So Marvell normally moves about $2.62 per day. Again, it is an inside week candle. That is a weekly target. Netflix is an inside day. It's interesting to see Netflix at the 689 because it was around $200 or $300 when I was looking at it every day, almost every day. Let me say that. So Netflix, if it breaks above $686.20, then the target to the upside is 689.69. So let me give that trigger again. So if it breaks above 686.62, then the target to the upside is 689.69. If it breaks under 678.19, then the target to the downside is 673.78. Netflix normally moves $14.11 per day. It is above the 5 EMA. We broke out of a gathering spot, as you can see here. I'm going to mark that because that's very interesting to see on the daily chart, right? So it broke out of a gathering spot, which was here, and we are making higher highs. We could, now we're creating another gathering spot here. So are we going to continue to the upside, or are we going to go to the downside? That's something to be mindful of. Just keep in mind that Netflix normally moves $14 a day, and it can move in either direction. As of now, we are above the 5 EMA. So PFE, Pfizer, is an inside day candle. If it breaks above 27.90, then 27.96 is the target. Below 27.55, 27.13 is the targets to the downside, and it only moves normally 63 cents per day. It is an inside day candle. Shopify, or Shop, is an inside week. It isn't a weekly. This is a weekly target. If it breaks above 67.39, then 68.33 is the target. To the downside, under 62.92 gives us a target of 61.12. And Shop normally moves about $2 per day. We are resting on this 20 EMA here, right at the 62.41. So it wouldn't surprise me to see it come back down to the 61.12 area, which is right above the ATR trail, and stop at the $59 range. So if I traded Shopify, I would say trade carefully, right? So Snap is an inside day and an inside week, which is going to be interesting, right? Snap normally moves 54 cents per day. If it breaks above $15.60, then 15.82 is the target. Under 15.25 gives us a target of 15.17. Now, to the upside for the weekly target, again, if it breaks above this 15.82, the weekly target is 16.21. Below the 15.17, it gives us a weekly target of 14.99. So again, Snap normally moves 54 cents per day. We are under the 5 EMA, and it too has been trading in this gathering spot on the daily chart, so it can move in either direction, right? I always say y'all trade carefully. Teladoc is an inside day candle. It normally moves 39 cents per day, which is not a big mover. So if it breaks above $9.89, then $10.06 is the target. Below $9.62 gives us a target of $9.59. Teladoc normally moves 39 cents per day. And Uber is an inside week and an inside day. That's going to be interesting. So Uber normally moves $2.10 per day. If it breaks above $70.77, then 71.05 is the target. To the downside, if it breaks under 69.83, then 69.40 is our target to the downside for the day. Now for the week, if it breaks above 71.05, then the weekly target is 73.63. If it breaks under the $69.40, then our weekly target is $66.51. It too is trading in a gathering spot. It could move in either direction. It's under the 5 EMA, so I would say if I traded Uber, I would trade carefully. Again, it moves $2.10 per day on average according to the ATR. So Z is our last inside day candle, Zillow, and it normally moves $1.68 per day. If it breaks above 49.14, Then the target to the upside is 49.50. To the downside, if it breaks under 48.44, the downside target is 47.80. And again, it normally moves $1.68 per day. So we have a lot of inside day and inside week candles for this upcoming week, that is June the 24th through the 28th. And I always say, y'all, make sure you have other confirmations as to why you're entering your trades. And this is just a guide. It's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in the market. Make sure you have confirmation as to why you're entering your trades. And again, when it goes against your why, make sure you're out. Make sure you set your stop loss, or make sure you have your mental loss and have the discipline, let's say discipline, to get out of those trades, right? So I hope these videos are very, very helpful, y'all. I am super, super excited. I hope that everyone have a very productive, a very profitable day tomorrow. And I always like to leave you with this, y'all. Be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.